Okay, and I particularly want to welcome our PMTA president, Wendy Bachman, who's joining us. So,
Hi, Wendy.
and welcome to everyone. I
Good
would ask
morning.
everyone to please mute themselves. And Miriam, take it away.
All right. So what I should probably do is go ahead and put the link in the chat for this for my handout. So let me send that. Okay, I just put it in the chat, but I will also share my screen. But that's yours if you want it. Let's see. Okay, so um, let's see. No, wrong one. Hang on. Sorry. Actually, I forgot to open that. Hold on. Okay, now I will get back to Zoom. Sorry about that. And I will share that document on the screen. Okay, so using Microsoft OneNote for student tracking, I'm sure many of you have Microsoft Office, but if not, here's a free, OneNote is a free option that you can use to keep track of your students, their information, but I'll just start at the top of the handout here. It's a free note-taking app, and you can go to that link if you want to download. OneNote can be downloaded onto any computer, and what's great, you can also put it on a tablet or a smartphone so you can take it with you wherever you go if you have several places that you teach. Microsoft OneDrive, the cloud, allows you to use OneNote across all your devices. So the cloud is recommended so you can access your documents and your OneNote notebooks anywhere. The free version is only about 5 gig, which is usually the standard free. If you purchase a Microsoft Office, you get a terabyte of storage in your cloud. And then you have access to all the apps also across all your devices. So I use OneNote in order to keep track of my students, where they are at, all the things that they've done in the past, their contact information. So here's some people just use OneNote, just for their personal use, school, schedules, recipes, projects, journaling, all those kind of things. But as for piano teaching and keeping my students organized, I have student notebooks. Actually, I have studio notebooks. Let me start with the student notebooks. If you just teach at one studio, you can have a notebook for each student, and inside each notebook, you can have your student contact information as part of the division. Another division could be the performances that they do every year, like recitals and festivals or guild auditions. A division of the notebook could be their weekly assignments, and another division could be perhaps just brainstorming what you want to do with the student or future thoughts for the student. And then as for me, because I teach at several different places, my notebooks I have organized into studio notebooks, and this is really helpful because I can access them from anywhere. Um, Inside the studio, I have student divisions, and then within each student division, I have pages with their information. One page is for their profile. Another page would be for possibly listing their repertoire um, in the past and current. It's really great to look back and see what they've done in the past. It's quite helpful. Also, their past performances and then their weekly assignment pages. It helps to know where they are at all times. And I really like the idea of weekly assignment pages. So, if for some reason they forget their assignment book to their lesson, I have access to what we did the previous week. That's just an example why I like to keep up with what we do each week. You can also use OneNote as a collaborative tool. You can invite people to view and edit your notebook. You can also just share a page from your notebook if you want to share a page, with parents or a student, you can do that. So let me stop sharing for a moment and get to an example of my OneNote. Let me share my screen for what my OneNote kind of looks like. So this is an example. If you look over, I guess you can all see it now. If you look over on the left side, the drop-down menu has your many notebooks. This notebook here, this is kind of what they give you. They just give you a blank notebook at first. So this is where I sometimes put my studio schedules and all different places that I teach. You know, whether it's, or even you can even do note taking for board meetings. And let's see, let me go to a different notebook here. For Taylor's, this would be when I teach at a music store called Taylor's Music Store. I have my students, all the tabs at the top here. Right now I have Ella highlighted, and you can see just for the month of January, this past Saturday, these are the things that we did. I decided to just color code it. I like colors. And this helps me to know what we did. And then I basically copy and paste that over to a new part for January 13th next week. And then what I will do is during that lesson, I will then update this list and then copy and paste on the following week. So I like to keep up with things like that. It really helps me to know where I am with the student. And finally, if you look on the right side of Ella's page here, you can see at the top, I've put a page in for a student profile. It gives all the information, including when they started, what grade they started, how old they were, their current theory level, their current guild level, all those kinds of things, and including contact information. Then I've done per month, as you can see on the right-hand side here, the list I have each month. These are what we did on those days during the lessons for the month of last September, for instance. Let's see, if you look down the list, you can see what we did in last year's guild. And you can see what we did for her recital pieces and then her festival or Connie Murray festival pieces. And so I just like to keep this running list. As you can see, I go all the way back with this to 2018. It's just nice to have. And then one more notebook that I like to have is my past students notebook. So those that graduate or those that quit, at least I have a record of who I have taught in the past. So what I do is I take the students who are no longer my students and I move their page over to this past student notebook. Then I will always have a record. As you can see, if you don't have enough tabs across the top, you do this little drop down arrow and you can see all these, all your past students that you've probably ever had. So at least for when I started using this notebook. Finally, I'll just do a quick show you how to do this. So I'm going to add a notebook, a brand new notebook, and I guess we could call it something like Happy Piano Studio. Create the notebook. And then already at the top, you have a tab that says new section 1. So you click on that tab, double click on it, and then you could write a person's name, one of your students' name, hit enter. And then perhaps you have more than one student. And as you can see, it keeps using different colors. So you just keep typing it in. And let's see. So let's say we go to John Smith's page. And then you could say, maybe this would be his profile page. All right, you push enter, and then down here, no matter where you put the cursor, you could start typing. Let's say I put the cursor over here, start typing over here, put the cursor over here and start typing. You could move your blocks that you made. As you can see, you can also do all those kind of things. I actually don't use that feature, but you can move things around. If you don't like your block, you right click and delete it. If you right click correctly, there we go. Anyway, let me see. And then over on the right-hand side, to add your pages, you click Add Page, and then you have a new page. So let's say you want this page then to be called, what you do is you title it over here, and let's say you would call it Festival Pieces, just as an example. So you could keep adding pages to this person's division. All right, so I guess does anyone have any, let me stop sharing, and does anyone have any questions for me at all? I am curious as to know is who already uses OneNote. I was just wondering.
I use it. I use it
Yeah.
for a lot of things, including what you do. Mhm.
Miriam, I use it, but my page looks different than that. I don't know. I don't have the cloud version. I have the one-time purchase version that you just buy it and standalone. But maybe there's different views of it, and I just need to explore and see if I can make mine look the way yours did.
Well, mine, I have Windows, so perhaps a Mac version might look a little bit different. Um, yeah, and also across different devices, the devices won't look exactly what you just saw. They'll look something like it, but devices will look different too. Any more questions?
It has a lot of great features. I use it. You can attach a little app to your toolbar. You can clip things off the web and throw them in a notebook. So when I see ideas for projects and teaching, I just quick them off the leg, and I have a notebook of things that I call later. Anything I see that's interesting and I want to explore it later, I just put it there.
Right, Jonathan, that just
Yeah,
reminded me. I forgot
mhm,
to tell you guys about that too.
yeah,
Thank you, Jonathan.
and
But
yeah.
yeah, go ahead and finish what you were saying, and I'll quick share my screen and show one little thing.
It also, if you want to take handwritten notes, say you go to a workshop or one of these presentations, it can convert your handwritten notes to typed text. It does that actually really well. Um, you can upload documents. What I like about OneNote is instead of having a file folder with all of the stuff connected to a student's, I opened a notebook and everything is there. So I don't have to open up a folder and go to separate documents. I just put them as a page in the notebook and I can go back and forth between. So it's really good if you have a project and you want to have a lot of different things. Um, it's very good for that.
Yeah, can I show them that quick
Yeah,
feature about the
let's do
document?
that
I
just a
forgot
minute
about
and
that.
then let's go just another
Yeah.
minute.
So if I go back to, let's say, my Taylor's students, let's see, I think I will go to probably, actually, yeah, let me go to a different studio. Um, so with this person, I should have it here, yes. So if I click on my right side, I have a document that I uploaded. So in case the student, forgets this piece to bring, what you do is you just click on that, and then they could just use your iPad right in front of them. So if they forget to bring their music, you could just have their document right there. Um, let me get out of that. Let's see. Okay. But the way you do it is it says, I think this says insert, and then you can insert a file attachment. So
And
you
if
just
you
click that, and then you would click what file to insert.
and if you do the file printout, it'll actually just paste the document there and you'll see it. So very
Yes,
useful.
you can also copy and paste. Yes.
Yeah. Well, very informative presentation. I encourage anyone to have questions, just contact Miriam. She's always accessible and always willing to share. And using OneNote, you can get a sense now of why Miriam is like one of the most organized people any of us know. So,
I
so
see here's a question here. Can
yeah,
OneNote be purchased at Apple Store? I don't, I actually, I know that you can, I know that you could get the app on your phone,
you
probably
can.
from the Apple Store. But I think if you want to purchase OneNote, I'm not really sure about that, but if you want to, you have to go to the Microsoft probably to get
I can
OneNote.
actually give an answer. You can get it at the App Store, but if you already have Microsoft Office, it's provided. So if you get the app and then log in with your Microsoft account, you will have it. So if that makes sense. But if you get the Microsoft Office 365, it's part of that with Word and Excel and a bunch of other goodies. But you can get it on your phone. I have everything on my phone, although I don't use it much on my phone. But all right. Any other questions? Well, Miriam, thanks again for sharing us this great information. We want to give Amy as much time as possible. So Miriam, let me just end this recording and start